employs almost 800 people. So many of you watching are connected to this company. Maybe it made you rich, depending on when you invested. Today we have one of Hexo's founders, Adam Muron, and Julie Buin, the Hexo publicist and author, who had a front row seat for this remarkable evolution. Really great to have you both with us. And throughout Canadian history, fewer than 100 Canadians have started a company that surpassed $1 billion in their lifetimes. Adam, that has to be quite something, but there was a fear you wouldn't have a friendly sofa to sleep on for a while there, wasn't there?
Well, I appreciate you reading the book. Thank you. Yeah, there was a moment where it was actually New Year's Eve as 2013 turned the chapter to 2014. We had about 40 people at our house, and we were counting down from 10, and I had a bottle of champagne to pop. It was like everything slowed down. Everything, just the countdown. Because I looked across the room and I saw basically everybody in this room was now invested in this company. It wasn't just us. And if this didn't work, like you said, I didn't have a couch to go sleep on.
So family and friends to get you to the 1.1 million that you needed to take it to the next level. Julie, you were working with Adam and Sebastian in the basement on Spruce Street. As we said, this is very much an Ottawa story. When you started as a publicist, Hydro Apothecary was the name. Tell us what your interpretation was as someone who, joined these two guys who had a big idea.
Well, I had been really against, people being their own producers and stuff like that. I just thought it was like such a sketchy industry. And then I met Adam and Seb, and I became a believer instantly. These guys were so impressive. They were so determined and focused. And if you've ever met Seb, you know that he is the ultimate pitch guy. He knows exactly where he's going and what it's gonna take to get there. And Adam, I found really a soulmate in communications and marketing. I learned so much from him, and it was just an exciting time. And to find myself in the midst of really history making was just phenomenal. I mean, looking back, somebody was saying to me the other day, do people really realize what it means to have cannabis on your CV, what we went through? And I hope this book really shines a light on that.
And Julie and Adam, we're looking at sort of the building process. We're looking at that drone shot in Buckingham. But Adam, your reaction when Seb mentioned this to you, you both had political backgrounds, both entrepreneurial. How did you react when your brother-in-law said, hey, let's get into medicinal marijuana?
Well, it wasn't love at first sight, if I'm being honest, but it was only because I didn't know that this new legal regulated framework was coming out. And the fact that he had seen that in the Gazette and he knew that was happening, he said, look, I'll tell you what, let me come by your house tomorrow. I'll run you through a few spreadsheets. And I thought, I got to have an open mind. Let's do it. Let's have that conversation. And like 15 minutes into a spreadsheet talk the next day, I was like, yeah. This is a good business. Let's do this.
Well, what's so interesting is Seb, as I understand it from reading the book, really had a buddy who was working at Health Canada and said, no one wants to be a millionaire when it relates to marijuana, and that really struck a chord.
Max Sear, yeah, and he came over. He started as our director of compliance, and he's still there with us. Max has played such an important role, not just in getting it going with the idea, but in really making the company what it is today.
And what is the company today? Because you have had ups and downs. The industry has had ups and downs. You can actually claim to have had some of the largest sales in global cannabis history, but the industry overall is stuttering. Many are wondering if the changing political situation in the States will open things up. What is your take, and what's your role currently with the company, Adam?
Well, thanks for the questions. I'm proud to say that I'm an active director in the company. I sit on the board. I remain a large shareholder, and I'm able to participate, in whatever ways that I can. But I think it's worth noting that Sebastian is probably by far the longest-running CEO in the Canadian cannabis space, and that's for a reason. He has put this company on a course. He has been the leader of this organization through and through, and continues to push forward. That as we see some companies, big and small, start to fail, I think that really what we set out to do in our basement 7 years ago was to build a company that was around for decades. That's what we're doing, and I think that that's starting to become really apparent.
And anyone who actually knows anyone working with you, and I think we all do, will know the dedication of those people. Julie, you're a storyteller. How did this story so capture your imagination? And let's just talk about where you are in terms of bestsellers right now in your category.
Yeah, that was really exciting. Adam texted me first thing yesterday morning. We basically came onto the Amazon list, rated #1 in our category, right across Canada. Really, this is such an amazing story because you've got a couple of really unusual circumstances where a federal government is challenging a black market industry and making it legal. And so you have a lot of people who are real visionaries, entrepreneurs through and through, like it runs through their blood. And so to be, taking notes and to be right at the front of that, telling that story from the beginning, was really interesting. I don't think I ever really got a sense until about a couple of years ago where this was really going to go as a story. And Adam and I had always sort of said, oh, we should be writing this down. We should be writing this down. And of course, as a journalist, I write everything down anyway.
Well, Adam,
so when we finally decided, yeah, we're going to go with it, it was all the material was there.
well, we can only imagine, and now you've actually put it in sort of a diary form. And the book isn't just, it's not just a business story, it's also very personal. Adam, what's it like for you to relive all of those moments that Julie just discussed?
Well, there was a lot of ups and downs. There were some very happy moments. There were some very emotional moments. As some of you may know, my father was our first client. He was diagnosed with cancer, and as soon as we had our license in the medical world, he was client #1 for us. And and the book discusses that process, and it discusses when he passed away. And and like I said, it was really an emotional journey. But as you said, it is a very personal journey.